What is up, Bulldog fans? It is the Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. My name is Cody Mummau, and excited another win. One after other, starting that streak back again. We said, I remember we were saying, let's go 1-0 this week. I know we're going 1-0 every week, but got several under our belt. We're going to celebrate Bulldog culture here on the Breakdown, from the locker room to the end zone. And this week we talk about the Bulldogs game at Rustburg, rolled to a 65-0 win. A performance that showed quickly we weren't going to take anything for granted. I think that's one thing that I talked to a bunch of guys about is don't ever take it for granted. I don't care who you're playing. And then we're going to talk about, I want to talk to you today about what it's like to play in a game like that, sportsmanship, all the things. And then later, we're going to talk to not one, but we got two interviews this week. One that was supposed to be last week, right. But we'll talk about it in a little bit. But first, before we break it all down, we're going to go to the Maddox power play of the game, brought to you by our friends at Maddox Air Electrical and Plumbing. And this is a good one. Let's go check it out.
It's time for the Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing, keeping your home running strong. Let's check out this week's big-time play. Maddox, let's get started. It was the second play from scrimmage, and the Bulldogs were already making a statement. After a short gain on first down, it was 2nd and 6, and quarterback Luke Gaither dropped back, eyes scanning the field. 3 receivers released deep, and tight end Sam Dunmeyer slipped right through the seam, just beyond the linebacker reach. Gaither saw it instantly. He lofted a perfect pass just over the defender's fingertips and dropped it right into Dunmeyer's hands in stride. Dunmeyer turned upfield and rumbled 37 yards, setting up the Bulldogs deep in enemy territory. Just 3 plays later, Liberty Christian was on the board, the first of 9 scores on the night. That connection, Gaither to Dunmeyer, didn't just move the chains, it set the tone. The Bulldogs were taking nothing for granted. Gaither to Dunmeyer, complete for a Bulldogs first down. That was your Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing. When it comes to your home, Maddox says, let's get started.
All right, Coach, that's the kind of play that you want to see out of your quarterback, out of your receivers, doing exactly. I mean, talk to me a little bit about that play that we just looked at with Sam and Luke.
That when we get good protection, Luke has his eyes set on the right defender to read. We can have a very, very good passing game, and we were 5 for 5 in the game Friday night, and that play that you saw Sam there catching the vertical route down the field is something that we can really be very good at if we continue to develop across the board. Offensive line protection-wise, routes, hitting proper landmarks, and quarterback proper timing and reading the right defender. So that was, that got us a big chunk play right there in the first drive and put us down into their territory, and we went on to score first score of the game.
And it's great for those guys to be able to see the practice, to put it into an actual game and see that comes up. Builds confidence. Hey, let's talk about this 65-0 win. Obviously, we know that Rustburg's going through some tough times right here. There's going to have to be some rebuilding of those things. But I don't want to skip over some of the positives that we take away from this. But with a game like this, how do you keep focused? How do you keep these guys the week prior to a game like this? How do you keep them focused on preparation and execution when the opponent we know is going to be a little bit outmatched?
Yeah, it's the old corny adage, you're taking one game at a time. You're trying to be the best you can be. So you're focusing more on how we're doing what we do, more so than what the other team is going to do against us. And I think our guys did a great job of that this week, especially in light of some of the issues Rustburg's going through right now. Had a couple special teams, mishaps, but for the most part, we played our second, our third team. We had brought up several JV players, and they all got a lot of playing time. We're going to meet our player of the game, Jackson Jennings, here in a little bit. Jackson played both offensively and defensively, and he's been a really good teammate, a good hard worker, running scout team all week long, and for those guys to get into the varsity game and play, I mean, 3/4 of a game was really just so we're so thankful for that opportunity. And unfortunately, what is Rustburg's disappointment is really works out good for us in getting guys playing time.
Yeah, you talk about the second and third team guys get in there, and it's neat to watch how even they're executing at a very high level. It's easy for outsiders to see the score and think it was effortless. You talked about there's some mishaps that you still got to, even in a game like that, there are things that you've got to clean up. But what's something behind the scenes, maybe a detail or a player moment that impressed you most this week?
I mean, I think the fact that, like I said, we brought up a couple JV guys and they went right in and really did some things that were very, very impressive. Emerson Munslag plays tight end and linebacker. He plays on the JV and he swings up to the varsity. He unfortunately caught a touchdown pass, a beautiful drag, caught it, turned up the sideline and got in the end zone, but then they called a holding penalty that, ended up bringing the play back, but it would have been his first varsity touchdown. But to see those guys, like I said, the guys that play scout team all week, the guys that play JV, they are learning from the reps that they're getting at those other levels so that they then can step in to the varsity level, do the same thing offensively, defensively. We run basically the same stuff and be able to then, execute at a high level, being that they already know it. Now they just got to go out and do it. It was fun to watch some execution by the young guys.
Yeah, I saw Jamison got a touchdown pass. That was pretty cool. A lot of guys doing some great things. Games like this, we talk about how sportsmanship is so important in some of those tightly contested games. I think of the JF game where it was coming down to the end. Tempers can get hot, and there can be those moments. But a game like this can also test sportsmanship as much.
Right.
How do you coach humility in times like this when everything is going right to help them remember, hey, these guys are just students like you?
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. I mean, the whole game, we were kind of preaching that. Just like I said, from the get-go, we're coaching ourselves through this game, not a faceless opponent over there. Then once it started getting a little bit out of hand, then we really started talking about the sportsmanship thing. We're not here to embarrass anybody. Even when, some of our guys that don't play a whole lot had an opportunity to do something really big, score a touchdown, whatever the case may be, it's really easy to get so excited for them.
Right.
But it can almost look like it's a demeaning thing to the opposition, that our third string running back scored a touchdown or whatever. So you really got to temper that. And our kids did a great job. I mean, there was nobody there to embarrass anybody. I mean, really, I think, truth be told, it could have been even worse than it was. I mean, we were kneeling on the ball in situations to just let the clock run out, doing things that were uncharacteristic of the down and distance, just to have them stop us. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a great lesson for all of our guys to the sportsmanship part of it is so key in that even when you're doing good things, we can't do it in a manner that's demoralizing to the opposition.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that sometimes, but being a youth pastor, several of our students in our youth group are from Rustburg, and they came and they were talking about their football team, and I encouraged them. I said, look, those guys that are out on the football field, they're the ones that still chose to be out there. They're still doing the work. You need to honor those guys and love on them. I guess the final thing that I'd ask, I don't want you to jump too far into the other side, but if you're on that sideline, what do you do as a coach when things are going so wrong? How do you keep kids motivated and encouraged to keep sticking it out and to find that foundation somewhere to build upon?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I don't know that people at any level really get is how hard it is to win. I mean, it is hard to win. High school, college, NFL. And I mean, even at the college and pro level that you're seeing right now, it is so easy to be on top one year, and then all of a sudden, just because of a circumstance one way or the other, bam, and all of a sudden everything starts crumbling. I mean, last year Rustburg was 7-3.
Right.
They had a lot of guys that were represented on the all Seminole District team. They had some guys coming back, and they had a coaching change take place. And sometimes that's the impetus of what starts toppling things, and could have been that situation there. But I mean, like I said, it's just so fragile. You look at it, all the college coaches that are fired right now midway through the year.
Yeah.
My own alma mater.
I was going to ask you about Penn State. How do you feel about that?
They went into the season, number 2 in the country. Coach Franklin's one of the best coaches in college football, and then three weeks later he's fired, and they're 3-4 now.
Right.
I mean, it's like, what? How does that happen? So it is hard to win, and hard to keep, everybody rowing the boat in the same direction.
Coach, wins like this give us a chance to see more guys on the field. You said we had a conversation with Jackson Jennings. For us, it was a little bit ago, but we're going to take you guys to that. This week, our Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Jackson before we jump into talking to him? Give them a little context about why he broke the rock.
Yeah, Jackson is probably the ultimate teammate. He loves being a part of Bulldog football. He really only came out last year as a member. Actually, he played in the middle school, but then didn't play, then came back out last year and wanted to do something very unique. He wanted to be a member of the marching band and play football. And at first it was like, man, how are we going to make this work? And we got together, looked at schedules and whatever, and I said, let's give this a shot. I mean, I'm up for it to see if we can make it work. And sure enough, there was some give and take there, and it really became Jackson, if you're going to do this as a junior, which he is now, there might have to be a little bit more of a commitment there. And I didn't even have to force his hand. He came to me and said, Coach, this year I just want to do football. So we are very, very thankful to have Jackson in our program. His family's a longtime member of the Bulldog Nation, and very supportive of all of our programs. And I'm just so happy that he was able to get playing time this year already, but the other night got significant playing time and did very, very well.
Yeah, all that being said, hey guys, if you want to meet somebody that exemplifies what it means to be part of the Bulldogs, Jackson Jennings, let's go take a look at our Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week. Bulldog fans, time for your Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week, where we recognize a player who shows heart and hustle and all the kind of leadership that we see in Bulldogs. And welcome to the stage, Jackson Jennings. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's go, Jackson. Your position and what grade you're in.
Alrighty. I play defensive end and offensive guard and tackle. And I'm a junior in high school. So
you like to hit people.
Yep.
That's definitely a requirement. Hey, Jackson, big week for you. Your number was called. Got to go out and play in a big game. You made the most of it. Obviously, break the rock. Get to come hang out. I don't know if hanging out with me is part of being a big deal, but hanging out with Coach on the Bulldog Breakdown is kind of a cool thing. So I like it because a lot of times people sit up in the stands. They don't get to know you guys, and so it's kind of neat. What number are you?
74.
74. Look for him on the field. Hey, when you stepped on the field on Friday night, what was your mindset knowing, going in that the game was kind of leaning in Bulldogs' favor? How do you get a mindset of going out and just, I'm going to push them around a little bit?
I was just excited to go out and get to play and just have fun out, hit somebody. I made a few mistakes, but everyone makes some mistakes. Did some things right, did some things wrong, but I was just really happy to go out and play.
Yeah. A lot of people will see the final score, it's a big final score, but they don't see the preparation that goes into it. I mean, you're sitting here absolutely worn out. We just talked about it. If you see what these guys do before they come on the Bulldog Breakdown, you would be just tired thinking about it. But each and every week, you guys go in preparation. In your opinion, what is something that the team does during the week that makes Friday nights look easy?
I think just our individual work that we do. Each position group goes and does individual work that's for their position, and it just really helps improve each other. And sometimes we just have some friendly competitions, and it just gets us ready for the game and what we do. Nothing
like getting ready to play for another team by playing against some of the best, in the whole state right here on this field. If you could describe your team, think of all the guys together. You could describe your team in one word. I'll give you a little buffer to you if it has to be 2 or 3. You could describe your team in one word. What would it be and why?
Family, because everyone is we're all like brothers out here. We all spend so much time together, and we all just love each other and uplift each other when something bad happens. When something good happens, we praise one another. So I would say family is a very good word to fit our team.
Coach, he didn't even hesitate on that.
No.
How's that make you feel? I mean, you want that, obviously, Coach, going into a season. You and I talk about that early in August, you and I sit down and talk about building that community and building that thing. What's it like to be here in October and hear Jackson say that the thing to describe this team is family?
Yeah. I mean, I would have said brotherhood. He used family. I mean, same thing. We talk about that quite a bit, The thing that these guys go through is really hard. We talked about choosing to do hard things and not shying away from that. What our guys do as football players is a choice to do a hard thing, and I think sometimes when you're going through hard things together, it really creates that bond. Maybe sometimes they're not so much loving their coach or the coach is pushing them or whatever's going on. They're kind of pulling each other along because that guy seems to be the guy that's pushing us right now, and that creates even a stronger bond. And so I appreciate Jackson saying that just so quickly. But Jackson's been a great member of our team here now for a couple years. Last year, I mean, you could ask him this because he actually he was a member of our marching band and a member of the football team.
I do remember
in
that.
the same
I totally
season.
Remember that. Yeah,
and we have never done that before. He pulled it off, and then to our liking, he ended up this year just saying, I want to be all football. So, but it was really a pretty cool blend that he put together and was willing to try to make it work.
Yeah. Hey, your family's been around LCA for a long time.
Yes, sir.
For you, having those roots here and being a part of LCA for a long time, what's it mean for you to be a Bulldog, to wear that uniform and go out and play?
It's an honor because my dad played here at LCA back in the 1980s, around that time, and it's honestly just an honor to be part of this great program that Coach helps coach, and Coach has been here for a long time helping to coach, and I just love doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jackson, we talk a lot here in the locker room, behind the doors, about faith.
Yes, sir.
You guys have Tyler come in and teach it every week. You got different men coming in to speak on faith, and we have the baptism here. Faith is a huge part of this. But for you, what is it about faith in Jesus Christ that impacts your life? And let's talk about life in general, but also how it impacts the way that you play football.
Just trusting in God to be there always for me, and knowing that when I'm in His hand, nothing can take me out of His hand, and just knowing He's always there for me, always a loving Father, my Savior, and it's just here in the games, all of us usually always kneel and pray, and that's just my time to just pray to God for the safety of everyone on the field, just if I get in the game, to help me perform well for His glory, and to just give my all for Him.
That's awesome. Man, it was so cool. So glad that you get to break the rock this week, and that's a major privilege to do. And really proud of you, man, for getting in there.
Thank you.
Final thing, you get an opportunity right now parents are out there watching, people with young kids, if you could encourage them on whether or not they should be a part of Bulldog football, what would be your best pitch of why this is an important thing or why it's a good thing to be a part of?
All right. I'd say if you have a son, encourage them to do football, because sure, you can let them do flag football or things like that, but just full contact football out here, and all these coaches being hard on us, which sometimes, it can be like a little upsetting when you do something and coaches get upset at you, but it makes you just a better person overall. And it helps you be just a better person. And then, it's like Coach Rocco said earlier, you have a brotherhood out here, and it just teaches you to get close to people, trust people, and just be responsible.
Bulldog Nation, number 74, Jackson Jennings, thank you so much for hanging out with us on the Bulldog Breakdown.
Thank you.
We'll see you Friday night.
Sir.
All right, Coach, you told us what a great guy. It's funny, this time of year when we do the Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week, we record it at the beginning of the recording sessions when it's still light outside.
That's right.
And we're literally not but 20, 25 minutes later right now, but the sun goes down so quick here in Lynchburg that not only is it getting dark, but
A little chilly.
it's getting a little chilly too.
Beautiful sunset though.
It's amazing. It's literally one of the best places to be.
Yeah.
Best places to be on a Friday night. Friday night we're playing the Brookville Bees right here in this stadium. You don't want to miss it. Coach, what's it like on a Friday night when it starts to get a little bit cool? Do you feel different when you come walking out here and it's got that cold chill in the air?
Yeah, it's football weather, and we've been so fortunate this year. The fall has been beautiful, and really the last 2 or 3 weeks now, as the sun goes down, there's a little chill in the air. I mean, it really does feel like football. Hopefully we can keep it like this, and hopefully we can continue to remain relevant here and keep playing, and hopefully we can play almost when the snow starts coming down.
It's one of my favorite things that he says, that hopefully we can keep playing and be relevant.
Yeah.
He's the coach. He has to say things like that. I'm not a coach, so I can of course we're relevant. But it is a blessing. It is a privilege. You said not too long, just a little bit ago, it's hard to win at any level. Hey, conference play is going to roll in this week with a big-time matchup against Brookville. Please go online and get your tickets online. Best way to skip the line, you don't have to buy your tickets here. Go online and get them. I know that we've got a couple hundred that do that every week, and that's growing, and it's great. We want you to be able to do that. Link is going to be in the description for this video. Hey, Coach, Brookville is a program with a lot of tradition.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know high school football in the Lynchburg area, you know the Brookville Bees. What do you see from them this year on film? They've had some ups, they had some downs, but they've had some pretty good play this year.
Yeah, they're 4-3. Their losses came to some really good teams, so they're a very, very talented team. I think many people know Logan Thomas, the former Brookville Bee, but the Virginia Tech Hokie, and then played in the NFL. His sons play on the team, and they're very good athletes, and they have a good group of kids back that were starters last year that are now multi-year starters with good experience. The McDaniel family, the quarterback, and then he's got a younger brother, and then there's an older brother that played there, and they're all tough kids and competitors, and I kind of respect them and envy them for the kind of competitors that they are. So they're very well coached, and like you said, I mean, there's almost become a little bit of a rivalry here because they are such competitors, and they want to play the best and do well against the best.
Yeah, they have definitely been working on establishing that tradition. It's fun to play against Brookville. We know that they're going to break it. It's late in the season. Games like this, we've had a 5-game run now. Games like this can definitely set the tone for that final push.
Yeah.
I don't want to even talk about playoffs, but we are moving towards that. We're thinking about setting ourselves up with home field and all of those things. So a game like this is huge. How do you keep your guys after this last week? How do you keep them from letting up after a performance like that?
Yeah, I mean, we talk to our guys about the point system. I think we've talked about that in previous episodes.
Yes.
The PowerPoint system. Not to say that, this team has this point value and this team has that point value, but but winning is key in terms of accruing points. You beat a team, then they go on to beat another team. You get their points for beating another team. So, every game is that much importance because of the point value. And so Brookville's won 4 games already this year. They're a very good team. They'll probably go on and win some more games down the home stretch. So, and they're looking at the same thing on our side. They feel that they would get a lot of points from us if they get the win. But we do talk about that with the kids so that they understand what's at stake.
Kind of final question about this coming week. I'm excited for it. Again, we know that there's going to be a lot of Bees fans come out, and our group. I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, but I'm believing in you, Bulldog Nation. You've filled these stands a whole lot. I've loved having the privilege to watch you kind of behind the scenes, your team behind the scenes, the structure of the pregame from the meal all the way until when they run out of that shoot. There's nothing that's left unknown. Everything is got time structure. You have time marks the whole way down. Why is that so important? Why is it so important to hit those time markers on a game day?
I mean, we're creatures of habit, and I think anytime you just get a little bit out of sync, it can cause some indecision, some inconsistency. And, we want our guys to be in rhythm. It's about being in rhythm leading up to the game. By the way, Friday game is pink out, so we'll be honoring
wear pink.
Yeah, we'll be honoring breast cancer awareness and cancer in general. And then it's also ELC nights. Our early learning center will be celebrated here, and hopefully moms and dads will bring out their young Bulldogs to
future Bulldogs
to experience what a Friday night is.
Yeah, those are always a lot of fun. See there's going to be a lot of kids running around. It's going to be loud, and they every time I talk to parents, they love this game day atmosphere. Yeah. It's fun for their kids. Yeah. So you definitely please go on, get your tickets, but come out, be here, be early. I would usually say wear red, but we're going to wear pink this week. Not just student section, but everybody wear pink. And I love those types of things. It's something that builds community with us. It's going to be a great week, Coach. We always kind of wind up with a fun little section. Yeah. We've been doing this a couple years now. They Ask Coach Rocco. Look, if you have questions, you can submit them. This is our first week that we're actually uploading the Bulldog Breakdown directly to Facebook. So some of you are joining us maybe for the first time. You can go back to YouTube and find the last few years on here. But if you have a question, you can give it to Coach Rocco. Hey, Coach, kind of a personal one, but this really is football as well. You've been a part of the program for a long time. We said it's 21?
Well, 22 at LCA, 20 as the head coach.
Gotcha, right. Is there a particular win maybe early on that made you realize that something special was building here at LCA?
Wow. Ironically, right out of the gate, our very first year, the previous year, I was still coaching over at Liberty University. My son,
Go Flames!
Yeah, my son was a sophomore on that team. Prior to me coming, they had just lost in the state championship or state semifinals. I don't remember, but. They had gone deep, and they had some really good. Rashad Jennings was the running back on that team. They had 2 or 3 other kids. Tyler Tipton went and played at Pitt. They had some really good players, and that team graduated like all these stud players. And my son was back. He was going to be a junior, and at the time he wasn't a very big kid. He was a good high school football player, and we had a bunch of others, and. The coach that was coaching that team left and took a job in the state of Indiana. So the LCA football job came open. And here I'm saying, man, my son's on the team, my children are at LCA, and that's what kind of brought me to LCA. But in that very first year, quite honestly, it was like when they showed up to practice the first day, I'm saying, oh my goodness, this is what we got, and
right.
Because all the big dudes have all graduated, and so those kids went to work and they started grinding, and one thing led to another, and we won the first game, and we won the second game. We went on. We won 12 straight games, went to the state finals against crosstown rival VES.
Yes.
And we ended up beating them in overtime. And that game, out of many, many great memories that we have here over the 20 years, that game kind of got the thing going. We went on to win 34 straight games right out of the gate, and so that got the whole thing rolling for us. Yeah.
That's amazing. Speaking of VES, they've got 11-man football back.
Yeah.
I got to go watch them play against Roanoke Catholic, beat them 9-0.
Okay.
Last week, one of my students plays on the team, so that's kind of exciting. A lot of good football going on here. Second one, you always talk about preparation. Can you think of a time this season when preparation clearly made the difference in a game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the JF game.
Yeah, I was figuring you were going to go there.
There's all these different aspects, time aspects of a football game. You talk about the middle 8, which is the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. You want to win those 8 minutes. We always believe in wanting to get the ball. A lot of teams defer the toss now. We like getting the ball and setting the tone. We want to go score right out of the gate and put their backs against the wall. But then you also got to be able to close out a game, and how do you do that? And so we practice just mashing teams and running the clock, letting the clock run down, snapping the ball when all the time is almost expired on the play clock, and then get first downs, keep the clock running, keep getting first downs, possess the ball so the other team doesn't have a chance to get it. And sure enough, that's what we did against JF to just close out the game, and they never got the ball back.
Never got the ball back.
A 10-minute drive.
It was one of the most impressive drives that I've seen in high school football.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to watch. All right, random fun. If you could coach one game in any stadium in America, high school, college, or pro stadium, which stadium would you like to coach in?
I don't know. That question might have been asked a year or so ago, and I think I answered by saying the Florida State. I forget what they call the stadium's called. Doak Campbell. Yeah. Well, one of my son was playing at UVA, playing quarterback. And they were playing on a nationally televised game, Saturday night game on ABC, and they were playing down at Florida State, and it was going back and forth, and UVA was down, had to put a 2-minute drive together to score to win the game, and they get doing the chop.
Yeah.
They have a big jumbotron scoreboard that goes from black to white like a strobe light that says "make noise,"
right.
Make noise. So you have this going on. You got the make noise. You got the band playing, and it was an intense environment. And a little plug for the UVA Who's. They drove right down the field, right into that scoreboard that was blinking in their face, and they scored with very little time left and ended up beating Florida State at Florida State in Doak Walker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, you talk about a team that has been down that has rebounded. UVA, wow, they look good. That's a whole nother podcast. We're here talking about the Bulldogs, but we love football. Before we close, we're gonna jump back into the conversation that we had with Jacob Parziale last week.
Okay, good.
My apologies to all of you. We had no Bulldog Breakdown last week. All the video, everything went awry, but I did get the audio back. So we're gonna jump into a conversation. I really would love for you guys to stay and listen to this. Jacob is an incredible young man, has contributed wonderfully to this team, and had an awesome game 2 weeks ago that we recapped. So we're gonna he was our Osterbind Law Player of the Week last week. We're gonna finish out this episode with that conversation. Coach, you got anything else?
No, thank you. Please continue to come and support us. Hopefully we still have more than just 3 weeks to go, and we need Bulldog Nation with us the whole way.
It's cold out as we get towards the end of the season. We need you to be there. Get your tickets online, like I said. In the description, you can link to it, or you can show up and buy it here. Get some food at Benny's Bites. Andy is back. He was gone a couple weeks ago.
Right.
He's back to the house, have some burgers. That being said, stay tuned for Jacob Parziale, Bulldog Player of the Week last week. That's all I got, Coach. Go Dogs. All right, Bulldog fans, it is the Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week, Jacob Parziale.
That's right. Yes, sir.
That's it, right?
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Jacob Parziale. You've seen him on the field. Number 2.
Yes, sir.
Out there making all kinds of plays this week. Tell me a little bit of how you feel coming out of that game. What was it like to be in that game this week against EC Glass?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it was the biggest confidence booster. I kind of had the first 4 games or 3 games of the season were really shaky for me. I started picking up momentum at JF. That's where I made my 12 tackles or 11 tackles. But, Amherst was kind of okay. Ironton was horrible. So, it was really hard for me to get my confidence back up. So I was struggling with it. It's like I was getting myself in the right spot, missing too many tackles, not getting to the ball. And I don't know, a flip kind of switched for me going into JF, thing kind of occurred to me that this is my last year of high school and I got to do something with it. So that's kind of how that went. Yeah,
you and I talked on the sidelines, I think, at the Franklin County game.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about the play that you and I talked about. Like, you came out, coaches kind of were a little bit on you about something.
Yep.
And that's hard to hear in mid-game. What happened in that game that you and I talked about?
Yeah, so in Amherst, we switched the game plan. I was going to attack the flats more. They ran a lot of quick outs and such. So I attacked flat way too quick on a couple plays at Franklin County, and they threw it right by my head on our sideline 2 or 3 times, and it led to like 13-yard pickups. So I got on the sideline, and Meeks was yelling at me on the headset. And so I got frustrated, and I was kind of getting upset myself. Not at anybody else. It was my fault, and I knew that. So I was just kind of like, what am I doing, And I think you overheard me. And then after the game, I ended up with a pick and a couple tackles, and it wasn't the end of the world. I just knew I had to build on that and get better. And then you said, don't let one play get you. And here we are now. So.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. For me, that was kind of a cool thing to see how you progressed. And I love to hear, Coach, what's it like to coach? I mean, you do this in practice, right? You set kids up. But mid-game, you got a guy that you're still having to do some correction. All your coaches are training and teaching, even in the game. What's that like?
Yeah, I think our coaching staff does a tremendous job of coaching through the game, making adjustments in game, tweaking individuals like Jake is referring to, but then also making adjustments the whole unit, offense, defense, special teams. And yeah, I mean, it's a 48-minute, work session. We're all looking at our position groups, making tweaks, helping them make adjustments within their game, and it's what makes football football. I mean, it looks like it's just a bunch of brutes going and colliding with one another, but there's so many little idiosyncrasies and details that people don't see that you make a little correction here, a little correction there can make a big difference.
Right. Hey, Jacob, you obviously we talk about making changes in the game, but for you, what's practice look like? When you come to practice, how do you approach it mentally to get yourself ready? Think of the week leading up to EC Glass. What was that like?
Well, first and foremost, putting maximum effort in practice is absolutely key. There's too many guys, I think, at any level really, who just kind of go through the motions in practice and don't really lock in and key into the fact that there's a whole game plan going on. Some guys, they just want to kind of roll through the practice, just get it over with, get the hour and a half or 2 hour practice over with. And for me, it's just, it takes some effort, but it's really got to be full mental focus for 2 hours. It's only 2 hours. That's what I tell them. It's only 2 hours. Just lock in and listen to what Meeks and Coach Rocco has to say, Coach Meeks has to say. And, at the end of the day, they're going to put you in the right spot. And, after, I'm going back to the JF game, but that's one of the weeks I cued in the most, knowing I have to stop these rocket tosses and all this stuff. And so, and in the game, I was like, Meeks, you set me up perfectly, man. Like, it was perfect. The game plan, I listened to it. He, drove it through us, and it worked out. So,
So you could even feel game in the game that you were put in the right. It's not even always
yes,
about
absolutely.
Personal ability. It's trusting that coaches have you doing the right thing.
Absolutely right.
Did you feel that in this game? So you got 2 interceptions
Yep.
and a fumble recovery. You feel the same way on those?
So the first pick actually was inadvertent because I wasn't supposed to squeeze down as much as I did.
Okay.
In fact, I was in the wrong position almost completely.
Okay.
But it ended up how it ended up. So, but yeah, that was one where I should have been on the flat quicker. He ran inside. I chased it inside, tipped it, and it really ran around my lap. So.
Right.
That's how that.
Is that the
played
one you
out.
kneeled down on?
Well, it was inadvertent. I thought the ball was going lower, so I went down. And I just inadvertently hit a knee, and then I got up. But yeah, I was kind of surreal. I kind of held the ball. Like, I think I got a pick on that. So.
Right.
But yeah, it was that wasn't really as much coaching. It was just really quite lucky that I squeezed down. He threw the ball right to me.
So we talk about team. You talk about being right there with Roman. You can't have a great performance like you've had without help, right? So,
absolutely.
Who's a teammate that you think deserves some credit for being out there on the field with you? Who's somebody that helps you out a lot that you're just really thankful for?
Right off the bat, I think of Jane Cowart. Going in, I never played really defense much all my whole high school career. This is really my first year playing defense. I played time day cornerback in my previous school, but cornerback and then quarterback here. And the guy who really helped me along was Cowart. I mean, he still makes a lot of the calls. I know the calls, but he's kind of the commander-in-chief of the defense,
right.
or at least the defensive back. So he's helped me so much and got him drive. Any good play I make, he's always like, "Hey man, keep it up, go work." So it's really confidence with me, and especially after losing a lot of confidence, having some earlier games in the season, he's really helped me kind of get the mojo back up. So yeah, for sure, Jane Cowart.
Yeah, we talk about faith being really the DNA of this program. We've had baptisms out here on the field. Every week you've got Tyler coming in and speaking, different speakers coming and sharing faith. How has that impacted you? How does your faith impact your play on the field? Yeah,
I mean, it is a lot of what goes on the field. It's hard, but the environment, football can be really rough, and I think a lot of people understand that. And it's very intense. So after the games and before the games, I'm always trying to, I don't know how to describe it. I'm always trying to just do the best I can to represent LCA well. And sometimes, I falter. I get really frustrated sometimes. But I really try to, on the field at least, really try to make LCA have a good, representation of who we are. And I think that goes for a lot of us on the field. We're not intentionally out there to be jerks. We got to get the job done at the end of the day. But, I think, I don't know.
That's good. You said, you talked about you being a senior. Like it's something to come in the middle of your senior year and go, man, this is it. Like, I need to give it all. I need to give it the effort. If you could sit with some of the younger Bulldogs, some of those middle schoolers they're out there playing against Dunbar, playing against these other teams, what would be some advice that you would give them as they approach being a Bulldog going into high school?
Take it one game at a time.
One game at a time.
There's too many times where, especially last year, it was kind of like I was going through the motions. I didn't get a ton of playing time, so I did my job at scout team. I love doing scout team. That was kind of my passion throughout last year. But it just felt like yesterday I was sitting in my first day of camp, and now I'm here with only 4 games left to go in the regular season. So one game at a time, one practice at a time. Man, just play as hard as you can. It gets more fun the harder you play. I mean,
All right, final question. I asked Coach this a bunch, but I want to start asking you players this. We've had some really full stadiums, even on fall break. A lot of people have come out. Went over to JF, had a full stadium at JF. A lot of Bulldog fans. What's that mean for you guys? Do you guys notice that there's fans there cheering for you? And going into this game against Rustburg, how important is it for you guys to see Bulldogs fans travel to these games?
Yeah, so, walk out on the field, first thing off the bat is like, how many people we had in there. So, Rustburg was a little slow at first. I didn't see a whole. So, I mean, the fans are everything, man. That's what gets my energy up the most, is when people are cheering for me. And so, yeah, I think, especially away games, when there's fans watching you, it's the best feeling ever. And it means the world to all of us. I know coaching staff, for our fans to show up, especially away games, obviously home is given. I mean, you should show up to that regardless. But for away games especially, it's everything, man.
It takes effort for them to come.
It's effort, and they're sacrificing, good time traveling and coming to the game to watch you play, and that's the best feeling ever. People sacrificing their time to watch you. So,
yeah, Coach, he talked about how much he enjoyed running scout team. I know that there's a guy that was on our scout team when I played, that when we had the reunion here a couple weeks ago, he didn't even feel like he should walk out on the field because he's like, I really didn't do anything. And for me, I was like, man, you were everything. Like we couldn't have done that without you. What's it for you to see a guy like this who's now starting and making an impact? What is it about the guys that run scout team and all that makes the team so great?
I mean, it's a team, and everybody has a major role, and there's nobody that doesn't have a role on the team. Jake referred to, he played quarterback on the scout team last year, and I've said it many times to him and to public, he truly has been, over my years of coaching, he's been our best scout team quarterback I've ever been around. He did. He had passion for it, and he knew those were going to be his quarterback reps. And he's a very good quarterback, and he's done, does a good job as our backup today. But right now, his role is to be a starting safety on the defensive side, and he's really taken that and run with it. We feel very, very confident in the fact that we've got a good backup quarterback, and what he did last year on the scout team to prepare our defense. But in getting reps against our really good high school defense every day made him better. So, I mean, I think, whether it's him being a scout team player or guys today playing scout team that do a good job, and Jake can attest to this, we've got guys coming off the scout team now getting playing time on the varsity because of the performance that they're doing on scout team.
Always be ready. Yep. Always be ready for that one.
That's the way you get your reps in.
That's right.
Guy, so.
Jacob, it's been good hanging with you.
Sure.
Good luck this week.